Shout out to the gangsters, postman posted with them gangsters. My homies be on gang time, all my homies throwing gang signs. I keep it real, I cannot fake mine. This is for the gangsters. Shout out to the gangsters, postman posted with them gangsters. My homies be on gang time, all my homies throwing gang signs. I keep it real, I cannot fake mine. You know the vibe. If you gon' tell a gangster story, need to let a gangster tell it. And for the record, a gangster ain't never telling.
We back. Professor Melly Mill, my favorite guy. Man, I know how you guys like them stories, man. So we had to bring Big Devil in, man. Give us a story. So Big Dev, we want to go back, man, to, one of your stories, man. You got such amazing stories. I think it's about time we get another one from you, brother.
Yes, sir.
So, we're taking it back to where we going, Big Dev. The 90s or the 80s. What was that era like for you?
The 90s. I mean, we'll go take it back to the 80s. The
okay.
80s, end of the 80s. I was still young though, so I was still a teenager. You know what I mean? Those was fun times back then. You know what I mean?
So we're talking about the house party, right?
Yeah. Yeah, those was the things back in the 80s, man. Wasn't nothing like, getting dressed, your khakis and your Pendleton and your beanies or your blue rags and ironing everything up, creasing your shit up, you know what I'm saying? Cleaning off your Chuck Taylors, you know what I mean, or your hot shoes, man, and getting together, man, and walking to a house party, you know what I mean?
Was that like the official uniform there?
Oh yeah, that was uniform right there. That was mandatory, you know what I mean? Whether it was a powder blue rag or a blue rag, you know what I'm saying, with the khakis and the Chucks or the high shoes, you know what I mean, and the Pendleton. I used to love them Pendletons, you know what I mean, and my black leather gloves, of course, that was my trademark right there.
Why was the black leather gloves? Why was that necessary to help?
I mean, it helped, well, as far as getting physical and fighting, you know what I mean, I like to have the gloves on to give you a tighter fit. You know what I mean? And then when you can strike somebody and you hit them right at the right angle, you know what I mean? You can cut them. You can do a lot of damage to the face. You know what I mean? Cut some skin off of their face and slice and dice them with them gloves on. You know what I mean? They didn't leave no fingerprints as well.
So what was one of the incidents that stand out in your mind that would supersede the rest?
As far as house parties?
Yes.
Well, shit, man, we had so many rumbles. I remember this girl, she used to stay in the hood, and she used to always give parties and shit, you know what I'm saying? So one night, we wasn't invited to this party. We invited ourselves by default. Some of the homies was riding through, and they seen that they was giving a party. So they came down into the hideaway and got us, hey man, it's a party at, old girl house. So
well, and what we speaking about there?
You said, what year?
No, what section?
Oh, right there in the hood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? On the little end. So they came to the hideaway. We walked down the street to the party. You know what I mean? The whole time I grabbed my gloves, grabbed my little gipper, my little knife, and we go to the party. It's about 20, 25 of us. You know what I mean? So we get to the gate, they charging at the gate. Dude want $2 to get in. You know what I mean? So the homies like, man, we ain't got no $2 to get in, you know what I'm saying? So I merged to the front. I said, man, because I already got a plan in place. I ain't telling nobody, I got a plan in place. So I tell the judge, I said, man, how much it costs to get into the party, man? He said, it's $2. I said, man, y'all in our hood, though. You know what I mean? We don't pay for no parties over here, man. We coming in, invited or not. You know what I mean? So as I'm talking to him, I'm putting my gloves on. He don't even see me. I'm putting my gloves on. And then I tell him, I said, man, I said, you got a lighter? And as soon as he put his hands down to pat his pockets, boom, out, sleep. So we took the little money box. We go to the gate, man. And, so by that time, it's terrorized time now. It was rumble in the jungle.
Point seen, money gone.
Point seen, money gone. But I'm trying to take, that's when they had those big old link chains, Turkish ropes. And I'm snatching chains. I'm trying to snatch anything I can get. Everybody running and ducking and screaming. You know what I mean? That was crazy. We got up out of there, though.
So I'm trying to figure out what was in her mind to think that she could give a party.
Yeah, she wasn't even out there at the gate. If she'd have been at the gate, I wouldn't have tripped. You know what I mean? But since, you know, boy was there, plus I was, you know, I was loaded. You know what I mean? On one, you know, it's 20, 25 of us, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're in the hood feeling good. Like, you know, so we really coming to party, but, you know what I mean? Since you want to, you know, say, you know, we charging, you know, to get in, you know, you wasn't letting us in the gate, you know what I mean? I said, okay, we're going to get in this gate by any means. So, you know, that was one of my signature things right there. You know, ask you if you got something, a lighter or a cigarette, or, you know, you got change for $1 or $5, whatever. As soon as you put them hands down, it was lights out.
So what year did you meet Loco?
Who, my homeboy Loco?
Yeah.
Which one, Cyco?
Cyco.
Cyco.
My bad.
I've been knowing Cyco since probably like 87, 88. You know, Cyco was young. Back then he was probably like 12, probably like 11, 12 years old, you know. And he was a little kid that used to always go there too.
So Cyco, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you met Cyco when you said Cyco was coming around and just being a sort of a nuisance, right?
Yeah, man, he was a little peasant, you know what I mean? That's what we talk, you know, he was Antonio, get up out of here, man, go on back down the street, you know what I mean? Get away from us, man. He antagonized us every time we seen him, you know what I mean? But he never used to talk to him. He never said anything. He'd just be having this little mean little expression on his face, you know what I mean? Trying to run us over with his go-kart.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then I hadn't seen him in years. You know what I mean?
So how many years had passed by before you had seen him?
Shit, I hadn't seen him again till probably like 94, 95.
So now
he a teenager now. You know what I'm saying? And when we seen him this time, he had a little size. He had just got a LP Central or something. He's fighting a serious crime or whatever. So he did like a couple years, juvenile or whatever. So. YA. So when he came back around, we seen him walking in front of the hideaway, you know, no shirt on, chest out. And I'm like, man, he looked familiar, you know, because I ain't seen him in so long. So when he walked back by, I said, hey, man, come here, man, what's up? He was like, what's up? I said, man, you little Antonio? He said, yeah, man, just got out of jail. I said, oh, okay. He said, where you from? Oh, bang, ain't from nowhere. I said, oh, man, you come down here, you know, kick it with us, you know. You have age now, so you can hang with us now. You're old enough now. But I'm already in my mind thinking, oh, you finna recruit him for sure. You know what I mean? So we was hanging out. He hung out with us a couple of times or whatever. You know, we all knew him and shit. So, you know, we, you know, put him on the hood. That was my last homie that I put on the hood. You know what I'm saying? Was Cyco. That was probably like 95, 96.
So did you give him the name also?
Yeah, I gave him that name, Cyco.
So why that particular name?
Because he just had that demeanor about himself. Like I say, he was quiet. Always had a frown on his face. He didn't talk that much. You know what I mean? And he was a serious individual. You know what I mean?
Did he have brothers and sisters?
Nah, no brothers, no sisters. He was the only kid.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So he just had that demeanor about himself, but he definitely was living up to that name, you know, before his life was taken.
So what are some of the things you I mean, if you can elaborate on it?
Some things that he did.
Yeah, that just like, wow, I can't believe this.
Once we recruited him, I took him under my wing, you know, right away because, like I say, I knew him since he was a little kid, so I took a liking to him. So, you know, I was teaching him everything that I knew, you know what I'm saying, about the streets. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was some, you know, gangster shit or it was whether making money. You know what I mean? So.
How well did he take to the teachers, what you were giving him, showing him the ropes?
He wasn't no drug dealer. He you know, right off the back, you know what I mean? He really didn't care for the drugs, you know what I'm saying? He wanted that name. You know what I mean? He wanted that fierce reputation, you know what I mean, that some of the homies had, you know what I mean? And that's what he took to. You know what I'm saying? You know, you give him a sack, he gonna sit on it. You know, that wasn't his thing, selling drugs. You know, he wanted a gun in his hand, you know what I mean? He wanted to go do something. You know what I mean? He wanted to make the block hot. Just like he did when he was a little kid. Always wanted to make the spot hot, you know, fucking with us. You know what I mean? I remember one time I was at the hospital. You know, me and my kid's mother was at the hospital, and I had parked my car across the street. You know, because we behind enemy lines when we go to the hospital. So I'm walking out with my baby moms, and I see the dudes parked right behind my car. You know, I recognize his car, and I'm like looking because I'm like, damn, is that really him? So they jump out the car, and that was my enemies. You know what I'm saying? So I turn around, walk back in the hospital with her. She like, who was that? I said, man, You know, I'm trying to help him get her back in the hospital. And I'm getting on the phone. That's before we had cell phones and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at the phone booth trying to make some calls. And it's like, you know, it's a big gathering outside. You know, unannounced to me, they had a little spot on that same street, on the little back street. So they was out there deep, you know what I'm saying, in the parking lot. So I go back to the door. I can't get a hold of nobody. You know what I mean? So I got lucky, called Cyco. Like, you know, they up here at the hospital, come through. You know what I'm saying? Immediately dropped the phone. About 10 minutes later, man, they came up there, man. Shit, all hell broke loose. You know what I mean? When he did that, his actions behind that, I was like, okay, you know, he a solid homie. He didn't ask no questions. You know, he didn't ask no questions. And, you know, what's going on? Who up there? How many? He said, I'm on my way. You know what I mean? He jumped in the car with a couple other homies, man. They came up there, man. I said, okay. You know, you're a soldier then, you know.
So what happened to him, man? You know what I mean? Because I know there's always be sometimes things take place that we can't help or prevent, and it just happened for whatever reason.
Yeah, with Cyco, was, you know, he was shot and killed in February of 1997. You know what I mean? But you know, leading up to his death, man, he you know, he was doing a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? He was getting his hands dirty. You know what I mean? And at that time, I couldn't stop him. Even when we told him, hey, homie, you need to slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? He was like, shit, man, y'all, wouldn't nobody tell y'all to slow down. You know what I mean? Because even though we was in the same clique, he was still a little homie to me. You know what I mean? So he's like, shit, ain't nobody tell y'all to slow down, you know? I don't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? I'm in this shit, you know, for real. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we was a small gang, so, you know, being small, you know, you gotta have some homies with some heart. You know
True.
What I mean? And I'll take the heart over numbers any day.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I used to always tell him, man, I'm glad you're on our side, man, because I would have to do something to you. You know what I mean? You know, the shit he was doing, you know. And I remember one night we was finna go, you know, do some shit or whatever. He jumped in the car with us. I look in the back seat, it's him. You know, I can't tell him to go, but I didn't really want him to go with me because he a live wire. You know what I'm saying? I'm more, you know, in the cut.
It's
know,
all about the calculations.
Yeah. He wanna, you know, he Willie Coyote. You know what I'm saying? He don't care. So we pull off. We get to the corner. We at the corner of a stop sign, and right in front of us is sheriffs. They parked. They sitting. They got their lights off. I said, damn. So we sitting. We can't go past them. You know what I mean? Because if I know if we go past them, you know what I'm saying? They gonna get on us. So we just at the stop sign sitting. And they flash their little side light at us. And look up in the car. So Cyco's like, man, I'm finna jump out of the bus on him. So I'm like, I ain't telling him no. Yeah, I'm like looking like, this nigga just say, you finna do what? He said, homie, I'm finna bust on him with this motherfucker. Yeah, I ain't going to jail. I ain't going back to jail. So I look at the homie that was driving. We looking at each other, and the look on his face was like, man, like shit, man, I'm not moving until that police move. And luckily that motherfucker turned his car and he got on. He must have got a call or something, man, but shit. And then we get back to the hood. I said, man, you finna bust on him for real? He said, man, if they would have got behind us or got on us, I would have let this motherfucker off. I said, oh shit, man, this nigga crazy.
He was ready.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
True soldier, man. Mm-hmm. True soldier to his heart, man.
Yeah.
So, we don't necessarily have to get into the circumstance of why he's not here anymore, but is there anything else you want to add about him that just made him somebody that you was like, somebody that you like having on your team?
Yeah, I used to always have him by my side. I mean, you know, I was gonna give him my name, but you know, he wanted his own,
identity,
moniker, his own identity. You know what I'm saying? So he was always like on my left side, you know, on my right side. Every time I turned, he was like right there. Any type of altercation or if something was going on, you know, I already knew I could count on him. You know what I mean? And I didn't even really have to say nothing to him, but he just gonna react. You know, and then we'll talk about it later. You know what I mean? And we used to have like deep talks or whatever, you know, because I was trying to pick his brain to see, you know, exactly, you know, why you so crazy, like why you have got this attitude like you didn't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I cared whether I lived or died, or you know, I cared about certain stuff. You know, he didn't give a fuck about nothing.
What do you think happened to him to be like that? You know, if you can
His parents was on. His parents was. I know it's for sure. His father and his uncles was on drugs because they came and bought drugs from us. So I don't know what was going on inside of his house when he was a kid, but I know, looking at it now, that affected him when he became a teenager. You know what I mean? Because for a person not to smile and not to have this care in the world, like at such a young age, but got a big heart, you know what I mean, and was willing to die behind what he stood for, that spoke words. Because he was 17 when he died.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He was only from the hood probably 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And from that 2 years, he done did enough dirt in those 2 years that some people done did in 20 years, 30 years. You know what I mean? But, we used to have long conversations. He would sit in the car, we'd smoke some weed, and, I tried to just pick his brain on certain stuff. But, to me, without trying to, like, tarnish his name, he was like a psychopath, really.
So he lived up to that name.
Yeah, for sure he did.
Wow.
And a lot of homies don't even talk about him, they don't bring his name up, because, he didn't last that long as far as the hood. He didn't have a long run, you know what I'm saying?
So how did they deal with him? Were they afraid of him? Sometimes that happened.
Some homies, certain homies, like, he didn't take to a lot of homies, you know what I mean? Like, and he'll let you know, like, this nigga's a buster.
He sensed fear.
Yeah, get him away from me, you know what I'm saying? Like that weak shit. Like, he done came back on missions and jumped out the car with him. Like, man, I can't go over there with them.
Clusters for eye busters.
Yeah, like, I can't go with them. These niggas are scary, you know what I mean, or something like that. You know what I mean? But he was a live wire. You know what I mean? And sometimes some type of dudes are good to have around that you can trust that if something crack off, we have a rumble. He gonna be right there with you toe to toe. You know what I'm saying? Back to back.
Got you. So talk to me about Slim, man.
Oh, my homeboy Slim, man. Slim was another one. He was the youngest out of my generation. He was the youngest. He was the smallest. He was the youngest, and he was unique because he was the only Muslim. You know what I mean? Like, his family was Muslims. You know what I'm saying? They didn't celebrate holidays. And as kids, we used to laugh at that. Like, oh, they didn't get enough for Christmas.
Because you didn't understand it.
We didn't understand it. You know what I mean? And we used to tease him. He used to get mad. You know what I mean? But Slim, man, he probably weighed about 90 pounds soaking wet, man. And you know what I'm saying? But he got the heart of a lion. You know what I mean?
So what was his contribution?
Oh man, he was a rider too. He didn't have, he just did like 25 years. Just got out. Welcome home, homie Slim. But he had a big contribution. Like I said, he had a big heart. Anytime we go fights, he was the ones that would go in there and take your wallet or your money. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't big like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So we'll put Slim on you first. We'll have Slim take off on you first, or we'll have him approach you because he looked like a little bitty kid. You know what I mean? Have him approach you and ask you for something, let alone we right behind you. You know what I mean? Trying to get you. You know what I mean? But Slim was a rider, man. He was well respected. You know what I mean? I kept in contact with him for the 25 years that he did. Off and on.
How's he doing?
Oh, he doing good. He getting his life back on track. You know what I mean? Staying focused and, staying out the way. 25 years is a long time.
That's
to be away from your family.
Real long time,
yeah.
Bro.
So he's saying that, things have changed. We lost a lot of homies when he was gone, and it ain't the same no more. You know what I mean? It ain't like it was when he left. When he left, it was, we were still kind of young a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We were still out there active. You know what I mean? And, Slim was
culture shock, bro.
Yeah. Slim was a rider. Got his name on me, man. He was a rider.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Little Devil. How did he get that name? Of course we know, but we'd like to hear from you.
Little Devil, that was my homie Mad Rat. Rest in peace, little cousin. You know what I mean? Mad Rat was another homie, that a lot of people don't really talk about, man. His life was taken when he was young, too. You know what I mean? He was shot and killed, while he was talking to his baby mama on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Somebody approached him, asked him where he was from. He told him where he was from, and they shot and killed him. They shot him like 8, 9 times. You know what I mean? But, he was a real homie, too. You know what I mean? Gullible. He was a jokester. You know what I mean? He'd talk about you bad, make you want to fight him. You know what I mean? That's all he did was crack jokes. You know what I mean? You know, shout out to Mad Rat, man.
Shout out to Mad Rat. Rest in peace.
Yeah, but that was Lil Devil cousin, you know. So, you know, Lil Dev came along. At that time, I was at my peak at that time. You know what I mean? When he came, so, you know, I took a liking to him right off the bat. You know what I mean? Snatched him up, took him under my wing. You know what I mean? But he was like all around. He was a go-getter. He, you know, he was about his money. You know what I mean? He was about that gangster shit. You know what I mean? You know, he was a serious individual. You know what I mean? With a reputation too. You know what I mean? And you know.
So is that how he wound up with the name Lil Devil?
Yeah. You know, he was like when I took him in, he was like my son. You know what I mean? But at the same sense that, you know, he was like Cyco. You know, I turned to my left, he right there.
What was his street IQ?
Shit. He had a big street IQ. The dude was smart. He was as far as business wise, to be young like he was, I mean, the dude knew how to flip, you know, 7 grams, you know, to 28 grams in within 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So he was about that bread. But when it was time to, you know, to get busy and to get serious, he you know, took his position. You know what I mean? And, you know, I didn't even have to tell him. You know what I mean? He just gravitated to it. You know, he watched me when he was young, before he was from the hood. You know, he used to come around and stuff, and he used to watch us. You know what I mean? Because his cousin's from the hood, so, you know, we'll recruit him. And, you know, same with Baby Devil. You know what I mean? It's the same way. You know, he was a little live wire too. You know what I mean?
So how many devils was it?
It's 4.
4. Name Big Devil.
Yeah, Little, Baby, and Tiny.
Little, Baby, and Tiny.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tiny Dev. He just I just let Lil Dev deal with him. You know what I mean? Because he like way over the mountaintop. You know what I mean?
Explain way over the mountaintop.
Man, he's the type of person, like, if something going on, he ain't finna let it down. I mean, he gonna keep egging it on, this. It, like, if it's some discipline and one of the homies is tripping or something going on, he just gonna keep pressing it and keep pressing it and keep pressing it. It's like a little chihuahua. The little dog behind the gate that just keep barking all day long, won't stop barking until you give him some food. That's Tiny Dev.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He gonna just keep going on until he just can't go on no more. You know, sometimes I be having to tell him, man, shut the fuck up, man. Sometimes you gotta shut up, man. Listen.
So the DP, right? Necessary or not necessary?
Oh, necessary. Discipline is good. You know, keep order.
Keep order.
Yeah, well, you know, back in my days, you know what I'm saying, we disciplined homies for violations. Or, you know what I'm saying, you got a line and you violated, you got discipline. You know what I mean? Let you know that we were serious, you know what I mean, about our cripping.
So sometimes those DPs come at their expense because of ignorance and not knowing, or just not paying attention. What was the highest degree of discipline? Was it just for ignorance, or not knowing, or doing stuff that just they knew what they were doing but they did it anyway? There's like 2 or 3 categories in there.
They knew what they was doing and they did it anyway. Like my homie Snake or my homie J-Bone. He did something to an ally that's like, you ain't supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Allies are off limits. You know what I'm saying? You know where he's from and you did something foul. You got discipline behind that because that can spark off a war. You know what I mean? You do something or you commit an act of violence towards an ally. You know, we got to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because we got years vested. The big homies got years vested with these dudes. You know what I mean? So you get disciplined for that.
Mm-hmm. So how many disciplines have you had, if you can remember? I don't know. How many have you handed out, Deb?
It's over 20, 30.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Over 20, 30. I mean, put off too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, put a nigga off the hood. You know what I mean? You know, to get put off the hood, I mean, that's like some serious violation. You know, you commit an act against a kid, or you do some snitching, or you do some, you know, something like that, or you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what categories constitutes a put off.
You know, you go to jail, start claiming another gang, or, you know what I mean, or you run out on some homies or something like that, and the homies, you was the cause of one of the homies getting killed, or or getting beat down or whatever, and you didn't do nothing, we don't even want you around. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna football kick your ass straight through the post like a field goal.
Okay, Big Dev. I mean, you know, we got something to work with here today. I appreciate you sitting down with me, man, and we got some clarifications on DPs, put-offs, and we got 3 homeboys that was definitely about that life, man. Is anybody else you want to include in there while we at it, man?
Shit, man, so many homies.
But there's always another video, Big Dev, because always more to know.
My homeboy Lowdown too, you know what I mean? He was a close friend of mine. You know what I mean? That was.
I know Lowdown, dark Lowdown, dark skin Lowdown.
With the red eyes.
Yeah, red eyes.
Lowdown was really with it, you know what I mean? He was my generation, you know what I'm saying? He was with the business, you know what I mean? Whether it was the guns, knives, fights, you know, rumbles, you know what I mean? We didn't have, you know, 20 on 25 rumble, you know, like Gladiator, like, you know what I mean, with some bloods in the hood, you know what I mean? You know, big old rumble, no guns, you know what I'm saying, no sticks, no knives, just all knuckles, you know what I mean? A couple of homies got whooped on, black eyes, busted nose, and a couple of them, you know, whooped on, you know what I mean? But the thing was, we let it fight another day.
That's
you know
it, man.
We could have easily went and got some guns and came just shot the whole house up.
I think that's a great way to settle things, man.
Yeah.
Because you live to fight another day, man. With that being said, Big Dev, we're going to leave it right there. What'd you like to tell the kids on the way out?
Man, stay in school, man. Listen to your parents. You know, respect your elders. You know, wear your face mask. You know what I mean? And stay away from the propaganda.
Stay away from the propaganda, man. These videos are meant to be as teaching tools, and we start off where we start off, but we end up giving a lesson and a teaching moment for our children and kids that are watching.
Yeah. I know they want to hear, but they gonna want to hear about that 20 on 20.
Yeah.
That was classic, man.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna say that one for next time, Big Dev. Just keep that in mind, man.
Just know y'all know, Big Dev. Any of the homies that were there tell you, Big Dev was whooping ass and taking names.
20 on 20, man. Well, go ahead and lock the door, Dev. Lock the door?
Yeah, lock the door.
I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga Wall won't give a broke